Jai Hind everyone. So by continuing our lecture series on Constitution of India subject, we will today learn about the fundamental rights of every citizen of India. So let us start with today's lecture. So what do you mean by fundamental rights? So fundamental rights are essential human rights that are offered to every citizen, irrespective of caste, whatever caste that person belongs to, whatever race, whatever creed, place of birth, religion or gender. These are equal to freedom, and these rights are essential for personal good and society at large. So this is what we mean by the fundamental rights, meaning any person who is a citizen of India enjoy these rights. So now let us study these rights one by one. So there are total 6 fundamental rights which are defined in our Indian Constitution. First is right to equality. Second is right to freedom. Third is right against exploitation. Another one is right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, and right to constitutional remedies. So let us study these rights one by one. First, right to equality. So this right to equality is defined in Article 14 to Article 18 of our Indian Constitution. So what is this say is equality before law. Article 14 of the Indian Constitution guarantees that all citizens shall be equally protected by the law of the country. As we know, in our country, we are around 140 crores people in our country. So every people which is born in India have the same kind of right. They have right for good education. They have right to go to a good school. They have right to speak whatever they want. But it should not happen with the national security of our country. Right? This gives equal right to every citizen. Now, social equality and equal access to public area. It means there are various public area in our country. For example, a park, a garden, to visit around a monument. So these are all public area. So if a person belonging to any caste or any creed or any religion, they are free to go to that area and visit that site with every right. They have every right to go there. States that no person shall be discriminated on the basis of caste, color, language, etc. Every person shall have equal access to public areas like public parks, museum, well, bathing ghats, and temples, etc. However, the state may make special provision for women and children. As we have seen, in various these public parks or museum or wells, special treatment is given to women and children. So these amendment can be made according to the convenience of the citizen of our country. Now, equality in matters of public employment. Article 16 of the Constitution lays down that state cannot discriminate against anyone in the matter of employment. All citizens can apply for the government jobs. Every citizen of India. Now, the job categories are dependent on the education qualifications. Like if a person is 10th pass or 12th pass or he is a graduate, they can apply to that level of jobs, satisfying the minimum eligibility criteria. Now, if they satisfy this minimum eligibility criteria, they can apply to any kind of jobs that have been flowed down by the government of India. Now, these jobs can have some kind of reservations, but that is also to the citizen of India. Now, equality also means abolishment of untouchability. Article 17 of the Constitution abolishes the practice of untouchability. Practice of untouchability is an offense and anyone doing so is punishable by law. As we know, in India, before the independence, the practice of untouchability was followed rigorously. So, to protect or to give equal right to every citizen of India, this provision was inserted in this section. Abolishment of titles. Article 18 of the Constitution prohibits the state from conferring any titles. Citizen of India cannot accept the titles from foreign state. Titles means in our Constitution there is no king. There is no title of king given to any person, or there is no title of sir or madam given to any person. So this refers to the abolishment of titles. Like we know in United Kingdom, in British, they have this provision where they give titles to the person who have achieved tremendous in their whatever task they have been given or in whatever job they are. But in India, because of this right to equality, there is abolishment of titles. Next, talk about right to freedom. Right to freedom is given in Article 19 to 22. And now it says that all citizens shall have a right to freedom of speech and expression, to assemble peacefully and without arms, to move freely throughout the territory of India, to practice any profession or to carry out any occupation, trade or businesses. So every person, if it is a citizen of, he or she is a citizen of India, they can express themselves freely. They can assemble peacefully and without arms, to move freely throughout the territory of India. Now, there is also sometimes state government uses special provisions to limit this movement of every person in India. For example, there are some border states in our country like Jammu and Kashmir, or the states which are near to China in northeast like Nagaland, or Arunachal Pradesh. So special permit or permission has to be taken from the government of India. Then you can move freely. So we can also move freely, but special permission has to be taken from the government of India. Next, right to freedom. Yes, protection in respect to convention for offences. Article 20 states that state can impose reasonable restriction on the group of security of state, friendly relation with foreign state, public order, morality, contempt of court, defamation, etc. So any state government can impose restriction if there is a reason for security of state, for security of the state, or public order, or morality, or contempt of court. Now, article deals with the protection of life and personal liberty. Article 21A says that shall provide free and compulsory education to all children at the age of 16 to 14 years. So there is a right in our constitution that gives free education to all students who are at the age of 14. Now, Article 22 deals with the protection against arrest and detention. Now, next right is the right against exploitation. Now, this is a very powerful photo in which we can see small kids are being forced to do work. So this is known as exploitation. So Constitution of India also protect against these kind of exploitation of young kids. So it is given in Article 23 to 24. Now, Article 23 deals with the prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. Trafficking means kids who are below the age of 14 are moved without their consent of their mother and father from one place to another. That is illegal, completely illegal, and they are being forced to do labor. So we can see like in traffic areas or in the red lights while moving from one place to another, we can see small kids are begging. So that is completely illegal, and that is the exploitation, perfect example of exploitation. So it is being protected by this constitution, Article 23. Article 24 deals with the prohibition of employment of children in factories, etc. So no children below the age of 14 can work in the factory. Now, next is right to freedom of religion. As we know that India is a diverse country in which there are different religions with majority of Hindu, then Muslims, then Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism. So every person in our country has right to choose any of freedom of their want. So this has been given right in the constitution. Now this right to freedom of religion is been given in Article 25 to 28. Article 25 deals with the freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion. Article 26 deals with the freedom to manage religious affairs. And Article 27 deals with freedom as to payment of taxes for promotion of any particular religion. Article 28 deals with the freedom as to attendance at religious instruction or religious worship, certain educational institution. So these are all the articles which give us complete freedom to choose any kind of religion or to manage any kind of religion affairs. Next is cultural and educational right. So it has been given in the Article 29 to 60. Article 29 deals with the protection of language, script and culture of minorities. Article 30 deals with the right of minorities to establish and manage educational institution. As we know, the literacy rate of our country is around 90%. And if we want our country to grow, every person, every children should get education at any cost. So this fundamental rights give opportunity to every student to so that they can have education at free of cost. In that education, there is also provision, the midday meals are provided, so the amount of students coming to attend the schools can be increased. Next, right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies is been stated in Article 32. Article 32 deals with the right to move to the Supreme Court for enforcement of fundamental rights, including writs, habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranties. It means if a person who feels their rights have been obligated or they are not able to perform their rights extensively, so they can appeal in the court of law. They can move to the Supreme Court. So these power have been given in the Article 32 or we can say any court. So that will be all with today's lecture, and we have studied about the fundamental rights. So there are total of 6 fundamental rights which are given in the Constitution, and these rights give autonomy to every citizen of India to choose whatever they want, like right to equality, right to freedom, and right to constitutional remedies. That will be all. Thank you. Jai Hind.